If you like the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this.
The threesome that ruined my life. This is something I've never done. I got fucked over and needed to put it out there. I 35 male got cheated on by my ex 28 female and was oldest friend 35 male. For context, I was with my ex for 2 years. In that time we conceived a beautiful little girl to go along with my older daughter. We lived together, bought a house, and moved across the street from my oldest friend and his family. The kids played together. We would spend nights on my porch drinking and playing cards with him and his wife. While we were together, my ex had bad migraines and the pregnancy wasn't easy on her, so she didn't work. This was fine as I make plenty of money to cover the bills, give her spending money, and live comfortably. I worked a lot as I am a nurse and COVID was hard on my career, but the hours were nice and the money was nicer. Fast forward to after our daughter was born. I was still working a lot of hours to cover everything, and once she was able, we started having sex again. Myself personally thought 2 to 3 times a week. I was incorrect. We had a picnic at our house and my ex and friend were talking a lot, and I thought, wow, I actually found someone my friends get along with and things couldn't be better. Come to find out, they started flirting after that. They were texting all the time and I was told it was cause he was going through hard times with his wife, which was true. I brushed it off as I figured it was an outlet for him. Time goes on and they talk all the time and even hang out when I'm at work. I work nights and she would say, oh, we're watching movies and so on. I was suspicious but again just overlooked it. I thought we were happy and having our daughter at home, we were good. We took a family trip with my family out of the country and had an amazing time. Got to see places we had never imagined and truly enjoyed our time. But one problem I noticed: they are still talking all the time. He wasn't reaching out to me, always her. We get back from our trip and she is arguing with me all the time that we don't have enough sex. But she wasn't doing things around the house. I was a single parent with her on my couch. She didn't make me feel wanted in a sexual way, and sometimes you need that. Anyways, her birthday comes and we take a trip with friends for a day of drinking. Then I find her straddling him. And straddling him in the swim-up pool. I left. I couldn't see that nor process it. Then I get the text that changed it all. His mother-in-law, I've known her most of my adult life, informed me they were sleeping together. I went into his house to confront him and he told me the truth. I was devastated. Then I confronted her. It happened over months. Including my house and bed. And that they had included his wife in it as well. She ruined my family for some dick and I feel like I lost damn near everything. It hasn't been easy, but I'm feeling better. I still don't understand why. How can I explain to my girlfriend how important it is to me that she's going to therapy for herself and not for me? I've struggled with mental health issues, ADHD, depression, anxiety, CPTSD, and ASD my entire life, but have spent the better part of my 20s working really hard to get myself in a mental space of clarity where I wasn't constantly struggling with these issues. And it's been a long road, but I'm proud of how far I've come. Because I understand this struggle, I'm very understanding of people having mental health issues. However, after a series of toxic relationships, I have a hard boundary that if someone's dealing with mental health issues, they need to be working on themselves and going to therapy or some sort of mental health professional, or actively seeking it out. So I've been dating my girlfriend for just about 6 months now, and shortly after we started dating, she stopped seeing her therapist after they moved out of state. Since then she has struggled to make any attempt to see another therapist or anything. In that time her mental health issues have started cropping up, namely RSD symptoms, and issues with being unable to clean the room at her dad's she's been staying in due to issues with trauma and executive function. Sometimes she'll get triggered by something I do or say, and will start spiraling into having an argument that I never made. It's like she's on a script, or like she's having an argument with another person. One time I just sat there silent and she started arguing against things I never said as if I said them. She's also hung up on things she's lost in the past few years, and every time it gets mentioned, she seems to work herself up and spiral herself into a depression. However, she claims that since she's been with me, she's been happy and that she doesn't think therapy is important. I've tried to nudge her, and she's admitted that if she goes to therapy, it's more for me than her. But she doesn't seem to understand that the arguments we've been having have been really wearing me down, and doubly so because she hasn't been seeking help. Anyways, I'm so conflicted because she's a great person, but to me these are a lot of very red flags. I'm torn about my current relationship with my GF, currently on a break. I've been in a relationship with my girlfriend for 3 years now, and we're best friends before then. Things were magical in the beginning, and we've always shared similar interests and have progressively found more things we have in common as we've connected romantically. But for a while now, over a year, we've lost connection, becoming distant from each other though we long to be around each other constantly. We almost obsess over each other then, or irritated in each other's presence, getting annoyed over the smallest things. I'm sad because I feel like I'm not only losing my girlfriend, someone who I've considered my soulmate, but also my best friend. We both have become quite isolated from previous friendships we've had, and eventually quite emotionally dependent on each other, and I think it's really taken a toll on our relationship. Recently she's been having an extremely hard time in school as well as work, and I've been progressing in work but have been under immense stress lately, changing positions, and lately it just has been feeling like too much. I've been putting in a lot of effort at work over the past few months to try to get a new position, and as a result oftentimes I'm exhausted after work, and sometimes on the weekend I prefer to take some time to recharge. This really bothers her, as she feels that I constantly flake on our plans, which are really her having expectations of me that we didn't agree on. E.g., you're coming over to my place after work. I've tried to explain that if I mention that I'm feeling really tired, it's a possibility we won't see each other that day but we'll arrange something later in the week, or on the weekend when we have more time. We had an argument over the weekend regarding some family plans, and how we could organize accordingly to make it to both, but what happened was a huge miscommunication that ended in a brief conversation saying a break was necessary. I told her we could see her family for a couple hours, then mine for an hour or two, then if she wanted to spend more time with her family she could go back afterwards, and I might go home to rest. To which she said never mind, I'll go to my family's place alone, though I never said I wouldn't go. Now we are in the interim of meeting on the weekend to talk about where we go from here. If I am being completely honest, I still love her dearly, but I truly want the best for her and her happiness, and I think the way we've been treating each other is just too painful and often dismissive. I am terrified of leaving this relationship. I can't imagine her being out of my life, but at the same time I also am having a really hard time enjoying life and doing things that feel good to me. I feel like I need to reconnect with myself. I feel like I've lost myself. I'm too exhausted to feel emotionally present. And I don't know how to express that to her, because I don't want to break her heart. I just want to be enough. But I think I've given too much of myself and forgotten about myself. Does anybody have any advice, or can anybody relate? Feeling very alone and not sure what to do anymore. I've lost connection with most of my friends lately and don't really know who to reach out to for advice right now. How can I make my girlfriend fall back in love with me? I am 19 and my GF 18 have both been dating for over a year now, nearly 2, and throughout that time we used to spend every day talking to each other. We used to spend as much time possible as we could together, playing games on Xbox and falling asleep watching movies. But since she got back into college she's gone from coming on every day to not at all. It's like it's never existed. She's the life of my life, so that didn't really bother me as we still called just as much and texted. But recently we've gone from calling every day to calling maybe once, twice a week, and that's with me asking. She never brings it up anymore. I asked her about Xbox and she said she's just not interested in it anymore, which is fine, but I just want to know how else I can make her love me. A few hours ago we had an argument and I just want to know how to make it up to her and make her fall in love with me again. She's now questioning our relationship, She loves me and has told me she does, but whether she wants a relationship with me or not, and she doesn't know why she feels that way, she tells me. There aren't many things we can do as it's a long-distance relationship and we were planning to meet up soon for Christmas, but I think that's off the table and I don't wanna push it, especially if she doesn't even love me anymore. I just want her back, her old self. But that's not a thing anymore. I don't think she'll ever love me like she did, or she'd still watch movies with me just to spend time with me or go out of her way to FaceTime and call, but that never happens anymore. Can anyone help me? I need this girl. But she's gone from never leaving me alone and wanting to call, play, text. To RN not texting at all tbh, and I know she's on her phone but she's just avoiding me, but IG that's to do WR argument. Usually we text quickly but I don't what to talk about anymore. My girlfriend criticizes me in the form of jokes instead of just being straightforward with me. We've been together for 4 years and for the most part, we have a really healthy, communicative relationship. We really can talk about most issues healthily, but she has one pretty annoying trait. She makes rude jokes all the time that seem like veiled criticism. It feels like when she's stressed, she just uses a playful cadence as a way to say whatever harsh thought she is really thinking without having to be held accountable for her words. If I ask to her what she's implying, she will just shut down and say she's just joking and get mad at me for being upset. But the jokes aren't jokes, it'll be stuff that insults me in random ways, acting like I'm incompetent, or complaining about how I chew, or how I'm lazy and don't work. For example, I'm very good at my job and work incredibly hard, and have quickly rose the ranks in my profession. I'm very proud of what I do, it's honest work and I'll never be a millionaire, but it has a real impact. Meanwhile, she works 35 hours a week in a cushy back office tech job where she makes more money than me and has ping pong meetings and catered lunches from Michelin star chefs in her office. I know she worked hard to get where she is, and I think she has a cool job, but she has lately been acting superior to me over it. But because I work globally, my hours are inconsistent. Sometimes I won't work until noon but then have to work intensely on a project at 11 p.m. I don't always work normal hours, and she will come inside and I'll be on TikTok during her normal working hours, so she has started constantly suggesting that I don't work at all. If I ask to borrow her charger, she'll make a comment about how my phone is drained because I'm not actually working, but she'll say it in a playful cadence, yet she still seems bitter when she says it. But later she does acknowledge that I work hard, but it seems like in the moment, she's just using humor to veil harsh criticism that she knows isn't true so she doesn't have to be held accountable for it. I've tried having conversations with her, but it seems like she just dives into, "Get off my back, it's just a joke," but I still have to deal with the unwarranted criticism that attacks my character. Everything else about our relationship is honestly like a fairy tale, and this isn't a major defining issue. I'm just looking for ways to communicate to her this unhealthy habit she has instead of just processing her thoughts in a less toxic way. Everyone has frustrations, and has unkind thoughts that aren't true, but she needs to learn how to process them healthier instead of dumping them on me and running away from any accountability for what she says.